I should have known something was wrong when I heard my mother laughing. My name is Lucille, and I've never heard my mother laugh with genuine joy, not once in 34 years. Her laughter was always calculated, a weapon disguised as warmth. But this laugh, echoing from the dining room of what used to be my childhood home, sounded different, triumphant. I'd come by to pick up some of Dad's old books. He'd been gone 3 months now, and I was finally ready to sort through his things. The house still smelled like his pipe tobacco and Old Spice, which made my chest tight every time I walked through the door. Lucille won't suspect a thing. My mother's voice drifted through the hallway. She's been so scattered since the funeral. Barely functioning, really. I froze at the kitchen doorway, my hand still on the light switch. You're sure she signed the papers? That was Elliot's voice, my soon-to-be ex-husband, who wasn't supposed to be anywhere near this house. Of course she signed them. I told you, she trusts me completely, always has. Mom's voice carried that smug satisfaction I remembered from childhood, when she'd successfully manipulated Dad into buying her something expensive. I pressed myself against the wall, heart hammering. Through the crack in the door, I could see them sitting at Dad's mahogany dining table, the one where we used to have family dinners before everything went to hell. Elliot was leaning back in Dad's chair like he owned the place, a stack of papers spread in front of him. My mother sat across from him, her perfectly manicured fingers wrapped around a champagne flute. My champagne flute. The Waterford crystal set Dad gave me for my wedding. The joint accounts are the key, Elliot said, shuffling through what looked like bank statements. Once we transfer everything out, she'll be left with nothing but the legal fees. And the house? Mum asked. Already in motion. Your name's on the deed as co-owner, remember? We can force the sale within the month. My legs went weak. The house Dad left me, the only thing I had left of him, and somehow Mum's name was on it? You're brilliant, Clara, Elliot said, raising his glass. She never saw this coming. To my daughter's naivety, Mum replied, clinking her glass against his, and to her very generous inheritance. They both laughed, and the sound made my stomach turn. I watched them toast to my destruction with my own crystal, in my father's house, using papers I apparently signed without understanding what they meant. The betrayal hit me like a physical blow, not just Elliot, who I was already divorcing, but my own mother. She actually believed you wanted to help her through the divorce, Elliot continued, trusted you to handle the paperwork while she grieved. Lucille always was too sentimental for her own good, just like her father. Mum's voice turned bitter. Always thinking the best of people, never seeing what's right in front of her face. Well, her sentimentality is about to cost her everything. Good. Maybe it'll teach her that trust is a luxury she can't afford. I backed away from the door, my mind reeling. Every document Mum had brought me to sign over the past month, just formalities, darling, to protect your interests during the divorce, had apparently been anything but protective. My phone buzzed, a text from my sister Audrey. Where are you? Mom said you were coming by today. I stared at the message, wondering if Audrey knew, wondering who else was in on this. As I turned to leave, something crinkled under my foot. An envelope, cream-coloured and expensive, with my name written in Dad's careful handwriting. It must have fallen from one of his books. I picked it up with shaking hands and tore it open. My dearest Lucille, it began, if you're reading this, then something has gone very wrong, and your mother has likely shown her true colours. I've watched her manipulate and scheme for 35 years, and I fear she sees your inheritance as her final prize. Remember what I told you about the emergency fund, the one only you and Will know about. When the glass breaks, my darling girl, you'll know what to do. Trust no one but yourself. All my love, Dad. I read it twice, my hands trembling. The emergency fund. I'd almost forgotten about it in my grief. From the dining room came another burst of laughter, followed by Elliot's voice. She'll never recover from this, financially or emotionally. That's the point, Mum replied coldly. I folded the letter carefully and slipped it into my pocket. My shock was crystallizing into something harder, colder. They thought I was broken, thought I was too grief-stricken and trusting to fight back. They were about to learn how wrong they were. I drove straight to the cemetery. Dad's grave was still covered with wilted flowers from the funeral, and I sat cross-legged on the damp grass like I used to do as a kid when I needed to think. You saw this coming, didn't you? I whispered to the headstone. That's why you made me memorize Will's number. That's why you insisted on the emergency fund. The memory hit me like a slap. 3 years ago, Dad had pulled me aside during Christmas dinner. Lucille, I need you to listen carefully, he'd said, leading me to his study. Your mother thinks I don't notice things, but I do. I see how she looks at the bank statements, how she asks about the will. Dad, what are you talking about? He'd opened his safe and pulled out a thick folder. I'm talking about protecting you from your own family. Clara's always been jealous of what you have, your education, your marriage, your independence. When I'm gone, she'll see your inheritance as her chance to finally get what she thinks she deserves. Mum wouldn't... Your mother would sell you for spare parts if the price was right. His voice had been gentle but firm. I've set up something she can't touch. A trust that only activates under specific circumstances. Will Holmes knows about it. Remember his name. I'd thought he was being paranoid. Now I realised he'd been preparing for war. My phone rang. Audrey. Where did you disappear to? She asked. Mum's freaking out. She said you were supposed to meet her an hour ago. I'm at Dad's grave. Oh, Luce, you shouldn't be there alone. Want me to come? Actually, yes, but meet me at the coffee shop on 5th Street instead. 20 minutes later, Audrey slid into the booth across from me, her face creased with worry. At 29, she still looked like the little sister who used to crawl into my bed during thunderstorms. You look terrible, she said. Have you been sleeping? Audrey, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. She straightened. Okay. Has Mum said anything to you about my divorce? About helping Elliot with anything? Audrey's face went pale. Why would you ask that? Just answer me. She fidgeted with her coffee cup. She mentioned that Elliot was having trouble with his lawyer. Said maybe she could help smooth things over, make the divorce less messy for everyone. What kind of help? I don't know. She was vague about it. Audrey looked up at me. Luce, what's going on? I pulled out my phone and showed her the bank app. Look at my account balance. Her eyes widened. There's only $300 left. But Dad's life insurance alone should have been $200,000. Plus my savings, plus the joint accounts Elliot and I shared. I put the phone away. It's all gone. That's impossible. You just deposited the insurance check last month. And somehow, Mum's name got added to the account. As a co-owner, Audrey's coffee cup clattered against the saucer. No, she wouldn't. I saw her tonight, Audrey. At the house, with Elliot. They were celebrating. Celebrating what? My financial ruin. They were drinking champagne and talking about how naive I am, how easy it was to get me to sign papers I didn't understand. Audrey's face crumpled. Oh God, the papers she brought you last week. She said they were just to protect your assets during the divorce. You knew about those. She asked me to witness your signature on a few of them. Said it was standard procedure. Tears started rolling down her cheeks. Luce, I'm so sorry. I thought she was helping you. What exactly did you witness me sign? Bank documents. Something about transferring accounts to prevent Elliot from accessing them during the divorce proceedings. She covered her face with her hands. She said it was temporary, to protect you. I felt the last piece of the puzzle click into place. She used you to make it legal. I helped her steal from you. Audrey's voice was barely a whisper. You didn't know. I should have asked more questions, should have read the documents instead of just trusting her. I reached across the table and squeezed her hand. Hey, look at me. This isn't your fault. Then whose fault is it? Mum's, and Elliot's, and maybe mine for being stupid enough to trust them. Audrey wiped her eyes. What are you going to do? I pulled out Dad's letter and showed it to her. She read it twice, her expression shifting from confusion to anger. The emergency fund, she said. Dad mentioned it once, said he'd set something aside that Mum couldn't touch. Will Holmes, Dad's estate lawyer. I need to call him. Tonight? Right now? I stood up. Audrey, I need to know, are you with me or with her? She didn't hesitate. I'm with you, always, even if it means going against Mum? Especially then. Her voice was stronger now. She's gone too far this time. I dialed Will's number from memory, just like Dad had made me practice. Will Holmes. Mr. Holmes, this is Lucille. I think it's time to break the glass. Will's office smelled like leather and old books, exactly like Dad's study. He was waiting for me at 7 a.m. sharp, a pot of coffee already brewing. Your father said you'd call eventually, he said, pouring me a cup. Though I hoped you wouldn't have to. How bad is it? Will opened a thick file folder. Worse than you think, but not as bad as they believe. He spread out bank statements across his desk. They've been busy, very busy. The numbers made my stomach drop. Every account I thought I had access to showed a balance of 0 or close to it. The joint accounts with Elliot were cleaned out first, Will continued. Then your personal savings. Your mother's been systematically transferring funds to an offshore account in the Cayman Islands. That's illegal, right? Extremely. But they were careful. Used your power of attorney designation to make it look legitimate. He pulled out another document. This is what you signed last week. I stared at the paper. My signature was right there, but the text above it wasn't what Mum had told me it was. I thought this was to protect my assets from Elliot. It was to give your mother complete control over them. She can move money, sell property, even take out loans in your name. Jesus Christ! There's more. Will's expression darkened. They've already started proceedings to sell your father's house. Your mother filed paperwork claiming financial hardship and requesting an emergency sale. She can do that? Her name's on the deed. Has been for 6 months. I set down my coffee cup before I could throw it. Dad would never have put her name on that house. He didn't. But you did. Last October, when you signed what you thought were insurance papers after his heart attack, the room started spinning. She's been planning this since before he died. It appears so. Will leaned forward. Lucille, I need you to understand something. Your mother and Elliot aren't just stealing from you. They're destroying your entire financial identity. By the time they're done, you'll owe more than you could ever pay back. How is that possible? Credit cards in your name, loans against the house. They're leveraging everything you own and then some. I stood up and started pacing. So I'm screwed. They win. Not necessarily. Will opened his safe and pulled out a sealed envelope. Your father anticipated this exact scenario. He handed me the envelope. Inside was a single key and a bank card. Emergency trust fund, Will explained. Your father set it up 5 years ago, completely separate from everything else. Your mother doesn't know it exists. How much? $500,000, plus the proceeds from some investments he made in your name. I stared at the card. This is real? Very real, but there are conditions. The trust only activates if you can prove financial fraud by a family member, and once you access it, there's no going back. What do you mean? Your father included a clause. If you use this money to fight back, the trust will also fund a complete legal offensive against whoever betrayed you. criminal charges, civil suits, the works. Will's eyes were serious. He called it the nuclear option. And if I don't use it? Then in 30 days, when you can't make the payments on all the debt they've created in your name, you'll lose everything anyway, including your freedom potentially. My phone buzzed. A text from my best friend, Raylin. Girl, where are you? Your mum called me looking for you. Said you missed some important meeting. I showed the text to Will. She's looking for me. Probably wondering why you haven't signed the final documents yet. What final documents? The ones that would transfer the last of your assets to them. I'm guessing she planned to have you sign them today. I called Raylin back. Luce! Your mum sounded frantic. What's going on? Can you meet me? I need to tell you something, and I need you to not freak out. You're scaring me. Good. You should be scared. Meet me at your place in an hour. I hung up and looked at Will. If I do this, if I activate the trust, what happens next? We hire the best investigators money can buy. We document every fraudulent transaction. We freeze their assets before they can move them offshore. And then we destroy them in court. All of them, including my mother, especially your mother. She's the mastermind here. I picked up the bank card. My father really planned for this? He loved you more than anything in the world, but he also knew your mother better than anyone. Will's voice softened. He said to tell you that sometimes the people who hurt us most are the ones we have to fight hardest. And Audrey, my sister, if she's innocent, she'll be protected. If she's not, Will shrugged. The investigation will determine that. I slipped the card into my wallet. Do it. Activate everything. Are you sure? Once we start this, there's no mercy. No family reconciliation. No going back. They didn't show me any mercy when they were stealing everything Dad left me. Will smiled for the first time since I'd arrived. Your father would be proud. Let's hope so. I stood up, because I'm about to declare war on my own family. Raylin's apartment was my safe haven, the one place where I could think clearly. She took one look at my face and poured 2 glasses of wine without asking. Okay, spill, and don't leave anything out. I told her everything. The overheard conversation, the empty bank accounts, Will's revelations about the offshore transfers. By the time I finished, Raylin was pacing her living room like a caged tiger. That bitch, she said, your own mother. I never liked Clara, but this is next level evil. It gets worse. I pulled out my phone and showed her the latest text from Mum. Darling, we need to finalise those estate documents today. Meet me at the house at 2 p.m. Don't be late. She's still trying to get you to sign more papers. According to Will, these would be the final ones, the ones that transfer everything left in my name directly to her. Raylin stopped pacing. You're not going. Actually, I am. Are you insane? I'm going to play along. Let her think she's winning while Will's investigator gathers evidence. What investigator? Nick something. Will hired him this morning. He's already tracking the offshore accounts. Raylin sat down hard on her couch. This is really happening. You're going to war with your family. They went to war with me first. I'm just finally fighting back. My phone rang. Audrey. Luce, where are you? Mum's been calling everyone looking for you. I'm with Raylin. Why? She wants to have a family meeting. Says there are some urgent papers you need to sign regarding Dad's estate. Did she say what kind of papers? Something about tax documents. She seemed really stressed about it. I put the phone on speaker so Raylin could hear. Audrey, I need you to do something for me. Can you get to Mum's house before I do? I'm already here. Why? I want you to listen to everything she says, every conversation, every phone call. Can you do that? You're freaking me out, Luce. Good. You should be freaked out. Just trust me, okay? Okay, but... The line went quiet. Then I heard Audrey's muffled voice. Oh, hi, Mom. Yes, she's coming. Then Mom's voice clear as day. Good. Elliot's already here. We can get this finished today. Elliot's there? I whispered. He's been here all morning, Audrey whispered back. They've been in Dad's study with a bunch of papers spread out on his desk. What kind of papers? I don't know. They shut the door when I tried to look. Raylan grabbed my arm. Don't go. This is obviously a trap. Audrey, I said into the phone, I need you to get out of there. Right now. What? Why? Because I think you're in danger. They're not just stealing from me. They're setting me up for something bigger. You're scaring me. I'll explain everything later. Just make an excuse and leave. Go to Raylan's apartment. But Mum will be furious if I... Audrey, listen to me. Our mother is not who we thought she was. She's been planning this for months, maybe years. You need to get out of that house now. I heard footsteps, then Audrey's voice became clearer. I'm going to my car. But Luce, what if you're wrong? What if this is all just a misunderstanding? Then I'll apologise and we'll laugh about it later. But if I'm right and you stay there, you could become an accessory to fraud. Jesus! Are you in your car? Yes. Good. Drive to Raylan's. Don't stop. Don't call Mum back. Just come here. I hung up and looked at Raylan. I need to call Will. Will Holmes. It's Lucille. They're all at the house right now. Mum, Elliot, and they had Audrey there too. That's not good. If they're rushing the timeline, it means they're getting nervous about something. Or they know I'm onto them. Either way, we need to move faster. I'm calling Nick now. We need surveillance on that house immediately. What about the meeting? Should I still go? Absolutely not. Let them wonder where you are. Meanwhile, Nick can document whatever they're doing. 20 minutes later, Audrey burst through Raylan's door, her face white as paper. They're planning something terrible, she said, collapsing into a chair. I heard them talking after you called. What did they say? Elliot was angry that you didn't show up. He said they needed to move to Plan B. What's Plan B? I don't know, but Mom said something about having you declared mentally incompetent. She said your grief over Dad has made you unstable, and she has documentation to prove it. Raylan's wine glass shattered against the floor. They're going to have you committed? That's not all, Audrey continued. Elliot mentioned something about a psychiatric evaluation he'd already arranged, said the doctor was a friend of his who would confirm whatever they needed. My phone started ringing. Mum's number. Don't answer it, Raylan said. I have to. If I don't, they'll know something's wrong. I picked up. Hi, Mum. Lucille, where are you? We've been waiting for over an hour. I'm not feeling well. Can we reschedule? Absolutely not. These documents have to be filed today or we'll lose everything to taxes. Get here now. I said, I'm not feeling well. You're never feeling well anymore. That's exactly why we need to discuss your situation. The threat was clear. I looked at Audrey and Raylan, both staring at me with wide eyes. My situation? Your mental health, darling. Elliot and I are very concerned. We think you need professional help. I'm hanging up now. If you hang up on me, I'll have no choice but to call for a wellness check. The police will bring you here themselves. The line went dead. They're coming for me, I said. Pack a bag, Raylan said, already moving toward her bedroom. You're staying here tonight. They can't actually have me committed, can they? I asked Audrey. Elliot knows people, judges, doctors, court officials. Audrey's hands were shaking. He bragged about it during the divorce proceedings, remember? Said he could make your life hell if you didn't cooperate. My phone rang again. Will. Lucille, we have a problem. Elliot just filed an emergency petition claiming you're a danger to yourself. He's requesting immediate psychiatric evaluation and temporary guardianship. Can he do that? With the right judge and the right doctor, yes, especially if your mother corroborates his claims about your mental state. This is insane. It's also brilliant. If they get guardianship, they control everything. Your assets, your medical decisions, your freedom. Raylan came back with a duffel bag. We're leaving, now. Where can we go? Audrey asked. I know a place, Will said through the phone. My cabin upstate. It's off the grid, and they won't think to look there. What about the investigation? Nick's already at your mother's house. He's documenting everything, the papers they're preparing, their conversations, all of it. A car door slammed outside. Raylan peered through the blinds. 2 police cars just pulled up. Shit, I grabbed the duffel bag. Is there a back exit? Fire escape, but loose. If you run, it'll look like you really are having a breakdown. And if I stay, they'll drag me to some psychiatric facility where Elliot's friend will declare me incompetent. Go, Audrey said. I'll handle this. What are you going to tell them? That you were here earlier, but left. That you seemed upset about the divorce, but not dangerous. Heavy knocking echoed through the apartment. Police? We're here for a wellness check on Lucille Pierce. Go, Raylan whispered, pushing me toward the bedroom. I'll stall them. I climbed out onto the fire escape as Raylan opened the front door. Officers, how can I help you? We're looking for Lucille Pierce. Her family is concerned about her mental state. She was here earlier, but she left about an hour ago. Do you know where she went? She mentioned needing some time alone, said something about visiting her father's grave. I made it to the alley behind the building and called Will. I'm out. Where's this cabin? I'm sending you the address now. Take back roads, stay off the highways, and Lucille, turn off your phone after you get the address. They can track it. 20 minutes later, I was driving through the mountains, my phone powered down in the glove compartment. The cabin was exactly what I needed, isolated, quiet, and completely off the grid. Will arrived an hour after I did, carrying a box of files and a laptop. Nick got everything, he said, setting up on the kitchen table. Audio recordings, photographs of documents, even video of Elliot and your mother celebrating. Celebrating what? Your impending commitment. They were toasting with champagne again, talking about how easy it would be to liquidate your assets once they had guardianship. He opened the laptop and played an audio file. Elliot's voice filled the room. The beauty of this plan is that even if she figures out what we did with the money, she'll be locked up in a psychiatric facility. No one believes crazy people. Then Mum's voice. And once we have guardianship, we can sell everything. The house, the remaining investments, even her car. She'll never see a penny of her father's money. What about Audrey? Audrey will do what she's told, or she'll get cut out too. I've controlled that girl her whole life. I sat down hard in one of the kitchen chairs. She really hates me. This goes beyond hate, Will said. This is pure greed. But we have them now. Nick documented everything. The fraudulent transfers, the forged documents, even the kickback Elliot paid to the psychiatrist. There's a kickback? $50,000 for a diagnosis of severe depression with psychotic features. Jesus, it gets worse. They've already scheduled your commitment hearing for tomorrow morning. Emergency session closed to the public. Can they do that without me there? If they convince the judge you're too unstable to appear, yes. My phone, which I'd turned back on to get Will's updates, started buzzing with texts, all from Mum. Darling, the police said you ran away. This is exactly the kind of behaviour that proves you need help. Elliot is very, worried about you. We all are. Please, come home. We can work through this together. If you don't respond, I'll have to assume you're having a complete breakdown. I showed the text to Will. She's building a paper trail, he said. Every text, every missed call, every erratic behaviour gets added to Elliot's petition. So, what do? We strike first. Tomorrow morning, before their hearing, we file criminal charges. Fraud, identity theft, conspiracy, the works. Will that stop the commitment? It'll definitely complicate things. Hard to claim someone's crazy when they're the victim of an elaborate financial crime. And if it doesn't work? Will's expression was grim. Then you'll be fighting this battle from inside a psychiatric facility, and they'll have control of everything. No pressure, I said. None at all, he replied. Just your freedom, your fortune, and your future. Outside, thunder rumbled in the distance. The storm was coming. At 5 a.m, Will's phone started ringing. Nick's name flashed on the screen. They're moving, Nick said without preamble. Elliot and your mother left the house 20 minutes ago with suitcases and a laptop bag. Where are they going? Airport, I'm following them now. Will put the phone on speaker. Are they running? Looks like it. They've got tickets to Grand Cayman. Flight leaves at 8 a.m. I grabbed the phone. They're going to the offshore accounts. That's what I'm thinking. Once they're in the Caymans, they can access the money and disappear. Can we stop them? Working on it. I've already called the FBI Financial Crimes Unit. They're sending agents to the airport now. Will was already pulling on his jacket. We need to get to the courthouse. If they're running, it means they know we're onto them. What about the commitment hearing? Still scheduled for 9 a.m. Elliot's lawyer will probably show up and claim you're so unstable you've driven your own family to flee the country. We drove back to town in silence, the early morning fog making everything look ghostly. My phone had 17 missed calls from Audrey. I called her back. Luce, thank God. Where are you? Safe. What's wrong? Mum's gone. She left a note saying she had to go out of town for a few days, but all her clothes are missing. Her jewellery, her passport, everything. What about Elliot? Gone too. His apartment is cleaned out. Audrey, listen to me carefully. Pack a bag and meet us at the courthouse. Bring any documents you can find that have Mum's or Elliot's signatures on them. Why? Because they're running and we need to stop them before they disappear with everything. Running where? I'll explain when I see you. Just get to the courthouse as fast as you can. Will's phone rang again. Nick. They're in custody, he said. FBI grabbed them at security. Elliot tried to run, but your mother just sat down and started crying. Did they have the money? Laptop had account information for 12 different offshore banks. Looks like they moved over $2 million total. $2 million? But I only had... They've been stealing from other people too. Your mother had access to several elderly clients' accounts through her volunteer work at the senior centre. The courthouse was buzzing with activity when we arrived. Reporters were already gathering outside. Someone had leaked the story. How did the press find out? I asked Will. Elliot's commitment petition is public record. When the FBI arrested them at the airport, someone connected the dots. Audrey was waiting for us on the courthouse steps, clutching a manila folder. I found these in Mum's desk, she said, handing me the folder. Bank statements, forged signatures, even a list of other people she was stealing from. I flipped through the documents. Names I recognised, elderly neighbours, family friends, people who trusted Mum to help with their finances. She's been running a scam for years, Audrey said. I found records going back to when Dad first got sick. She was stealing from people while he was dying. Jesus! There's more. Audrey pulled out a letter. She wrote this to Elliot. It's dated 6 months ago. I read it aloud. Elliot, the plan is working perfectly. Lucille suspects nothing, and her father's health is declining rapidly. Once he's gone, we'll have access to everything. The key is making her think I'm helping her through the grief while we systematically drain every account. Will took the letter. This proves premeditation. They were planning your father's death. What do you mean? Look at the date. This was written the day before your father's heart attack. The implications hit me like a truck. You think I think we need to get aside and file these charges before their lawyer tries to spin this as the ravings of a mentally ill woman. The courtroom was packed. Elliot's lawyer, a slick-looking man in an expensive suit, was already at the defendant's table shuffling papers. Your Honour, he began as soon as the judge entered, my client is not present due to a family emergency, but we're prepared to proceed with the mental health evaluation of Ms. Pierce. Actually, Your Honour, Will stood up, we're here to file criminal charges against both defendants. The lawyer's face went white. What defendants? This is a civil commitment hearing. Not anymore. Will handed a stack of documents to the bailiff. We're charging Clara Pierce and Elliot Hughes with conspiracy to commit fraud, identity theft, elder abuse, and potentially murder. Murder? The judge leaned forward. We have evidence suggesting they may have hastened the death of Ms. Pierce's father to gain access to his estate. The courtroom erupted. Reporters were frantically taking notes, and Elliot's lawyer was shouting objections. Order! The judge banged his gavel. Mr. Holmes, these are serious allegations. Yes, Your Honour, we have audio recordings, financial documents, and witness testimony proving a systematic scheme to defraud Ms. Pierce and multiple elderly victims. And where are the defendants? In FBI custody at the airport. They were attempting to flee to the Cayman Islands with over $2 million in stolen funds. Elliot's lawyer stood up. Your Honour, this is clearly a desperate attempt by an unstable woman to... Sit down, the judge said sharply. Mr. Holmes, I'm dismissing the commitment petition and scheduling an emergency hearing on your criminal charges. Can you have the defendants transported here? They're already on their way, Your Honour. I felt Audrey squeeze my hand. We did it, she whispered. Not yet, I whispered back. This is just the beginning. But for the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. The trap they'd set for me had become their own prison. The hunter had become the hunted. The courtroom doors burst open as 2 FBI agents escorted Mom and Elliot inside. Mom looked smaller somehow. Her perfect composure finally cracked. Elliot's expensive suit was wrinkled, his hair dishevelled from whatever had happened at the airport. The defendants are present, Your Honour, Agent Martinez announced. Elliot's lawyer immediately stood up. Your Honour, I request a brief recess to confer with my clients. Denied. We're proceeding. Judge Harrison's voice was ice cold. Mr. Holmes, present your evidence. Will activated the laptop, and Elliot's voice filled the courtroom. The beauty of this plan is that even if she figures out what we did with the money, she'll be locked up in a psychiatric facility. No one believes crazy people. Mom's face went white. Elliot started whispering frantically to his lawyer. This recording was made yesterday at the defendant's residence, Will continued. Agent Martinez, would you please describe what you found when you arrested them? 2 suitcases packed with clothes and jewellery, a laptop containing account information for 14 offshore banks, and this. Agent Martinez held up a folder. A detailed plan for liquidating the victim's assets, including forged power of attorney documents. Objection! Elliot's lawyer jumped up. This evidence was obtained without a proper warrant. The defendants were fleeing the country, Agent Martinez replied. Exigent circumstances. Overruled, Judge Harrison said. Continue, Mr. Holmes. Will played the second recording. Mum's voice. And once we have guardianship, we can sell everything. The house, the remaining investments, even her car. She'll never see a penny of her father's money. I watched Mum's face crumble as her own words condemned her. Elliot was staring at the table, his jaw clenched. Your Honour, Will said, we also have evidence of additional victims. The defendants used their positions of trust to defraud multiple elderly residents. How many victims? 17 confirmed so far. Total losses exceed $2.8 million. The courtroom erupted in whispers. I saw several elderly faces in the gallery, people I recognised from Mum's volunteer work. Mrs. Patterson? I called out to one of them. An elderly woman in the third row nodded tearfully. She helped me with my banking after my husband died. I trusted her completely. How much did she take? Judge Harrison asked. Everything. My savings, my husband's pension, even the money I'd set aside for my granddaughter's college. More voices joined in. She took my social security. My retirement fund. The money from selling my house. Elliot's lawyer was frantically shuffling papers. Your Honour, my clients were clearly under extreme emotional distress. Shut up! Elliot snapped at his own lawyer. He stood up, his face red with anger. You want to know the truth? Fine, she deserved it. Elliot, don't, Mum whispered. No, I'm done pretending. Lucille had everything handed to her. Rich daddy, perfect marriage, never had to work for anything. While I busted my ass trying to make something of myself, she just coasted on her family's money. So, you decided to steal it? I decided to take what should have been mine anyway. I was married to her for 8 years. I earned that money. And the elderly victims? Elliot shrugged. Clara's idea. She said they were just going to die anyway. Might as well put their money to good use. Mum was crying now, her perfect mask completely shattered. Elliot, please stop talking. Why? It's over anyway. He turned to face me directly. You think you've won? You think destroying us makes you some kind of hero? I think stealing from dying people makes you a monster. At least I'm not a pathetic little girl who runs crying to Daddy every time life gets hard. My father is dead. Yeah, and you know what? He died knowing what a disappointment you turned out to be. The courtroom went silent. Even Elliot's lawyer looked horrified. That's enough, Judge Harrison said. Mr. Hughes, you're digging your own grave. Good. At least I'll go down fighting instead of whimpering like she did. Will stood up. Your Honour, we'd like to present one final piece of evidence. A letter written by the victim's father, predicting exactly this scenario. He handed Dad's letter to the bailiff, who gave it to the judge. Judge Harrison read it silently, his expression growing darker. This letter is dated 3 years ago, he said. Mr. Pierce apparently knew his wife was planning to steal from his daughter. He set up a trust to protect me, I said. He knew Mum would try to take everything. Judge Harrison looked directly at Mum. Mrs. Pierce, your own husband predicted your betrayal. How do you respond to that? Mum finally looked up, her eyes red and swollen. He never understood me, never appreciated what I sacrificed for this family. So you decided to steal from your own daughter? I decided to take what was rightfully mine. I spent 35 years married to that man, putting up with his condescension, his control. When he died, I deserved more than the pittance he left me. He left you the house and half his assets. It wasn't enough. The simple honesty of her greed hung in the air like poison. I've heard enough, Judge Harrison said. Both defendants are remanded into custody pending trial. Bail is denied. As the bailiffs moved to handcuff them, Mum looked at me one last time. I hope you're happy, she said. You've destroyed your own family. No, I replied. You did that yourself. The gavel came down with finality. Clara Pierce, you are sentenced to 12 years in federal prison. Elliot Hughes, 15 years. Both defendants will make full restitution to all victims. I sat in the front row, watching as they led Mum away in handcuffs. She didn't look back. Elliot did. His eyes found mine across the courtroom, filled with a hatred so pure it made my skin crawl. "This isn't over," he mouthed. "Yes, it is," I mouthed back. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed us. Will handled most of the questions while I stood with Audrey, both of us still processing what had just happened. "How does it feel to see your mother go to prison?" one reporter shouted. "It feels like justice," I said simply. "Will you forgive her?" "That's not my job anymore." Mrs. Patterson approached us as the crowd thinned. She was crying, but smiling. "Thank you," she said, gripping my hands. "I thought I'd lost everything. My granddaughter can go to college now. I'm sorry it took so long to figure out what she was doing. You were grieving your father. None of us saw it coming. But I had seen it coming, hadn't I? Dad had warned me. The signs were all there. I'd just been too trusting, too broken by grief to connect the dots." "Luce," Audrey touched my arm. "There is something I need to tell you." We walked to a quiet corner of the courthouse steps. "I knew," she said. "Not everything, but I knew something was wrong. The way Mum talked about money, the way she looked at Dad's things after the funeral. I should have said something sooner. You were scared. I was a coward. I chose the easy path, and it almost cost you everything. But you chose right when it mattered. Did I? Or did I just jump to the winning side when I saw which way the wind was blowing?" I studied my sister's face. The guilt there was real, but so was the relief. "Does it matter now?" "It matters to me." "Then make it right going forward. That's all any of us can do." Will joined us, carrying a thick folder. "The restitution hearing is next week. You'll get most of your money back, plus damages." "What about the house?" "Yours. The fraudulent deed transfer has been reversed." I should have felt victorious. Instead, I felt empty. "There's something else," Will continued. "The FBI found evidence that your mother may have been slowly poisoning your father." The words hit me like a physical blow. "What?" "Small doses of digitalis in his heart medication. Not enough to kill him outright, but enough to weaken his heart over time." Audrey gasped. "She murdered him." "The DA is reviewing the evidence. There may be additional charges." I sat down hard on the courthouse steps. "She killed Dad to get his money faster. It looks that way. And I lived with her for 3 months after the funeral. Ate meals she cooked, drank coffee she made. Lucille, she could have killed me too. But she didn't. You're alive, you're free, and she's going to prison for the rest of her life." My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Saw the news. Your mother got what she deserved. Proud of you. Dad's old friend from the bank." Then another. "Justice served. Your father would be proud." And another. "You did the right thing." People I hadn't heard from in years were reaching out, offering support, sharing their own stories of Clara's manipulation and greed. "She fooled a lot of people," Audrey said, reading over my shoulder. "Including us. Especially us." Raylan appeared at my elbow, carrying coffee and looking fierce. "How are you holding up?" "I honestly don't know." "That's fair. You just watched your mother get sentenced to prison for trying to destroy your life. And for murdering my father." "Allegedly murdering your father?" "Right, allegedly." We sat in silence for a while, watching people come and go from the courthouse. Normal people with normal problems, traffic tickets, custody disputes, small claims court. Their lives seemed impossibly simple compared to the wreckage of mine. "What happens now?" Audrey asked. Now we figure out how to be a family without her, I said. Are we still a family? I don't know. Do you want to be? Yeah, I do. Then we are. Will cleared his throat. There's one more thing. Your father left another letter. I was instructed to give it to you only after the legal proceedings were complete. He handed me a sealed envelope. Inside was a single sheet of paper in Dad's handwriting. My dearest Lucille, if you're reading this, then Clara showed her true nature, and you found the strength to fight back. I'm proud of you. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you from her while I was alive, but I hope I've given you the tools to protect yourself now. The money isn't the real inheritance. Your strength is. Use it wisely. Build something better than what we had. All my love, Dad. I folded the letter carefully and put it in my purse. Ready to go home? Raylan asked. Yeah, I said, standing up. I'm ready. As we walked away from the courthouse, I realized something had shifted. The anger was still there and the hurt, but underneath it was something new. Peace, not forgiveness. I wasn't ready for that, might never be ready for that. But peace with the choices I'd made, the war I'd fought, the family I'd lost, and the family I'd chosen to keep. Mum had taught me that blood doesn't guarantee loyalty. Dad had taught me that love sometimes means preparing for the worst. And I had learned that sometimes the only way to save yourself is to be willing to lose everything else. The sun was setting as we reached my car. Tomorrow I would start rebuilding. Tonight I was just grateful to be free,